Welcome to lecture series on EPG Padasala for Computer Science. Today's lecture we will be discussing cyclomatic complexity. The learning objectives are McCabe's complexity measures, mapping code to a control flow graph, computing cyclomatic complexity, outline the correlation of cyclomatic complexity to software testing. McCabe in 1976 proposed cyclomatic complexity measure to quantify complexity of given software. It is a graph driven model that is based on decision making constructs of program such as if else, do while, repeat until, switch case and go to statements. McCabe metrics are based on control flow representation of the program. A program graph is used to depict control flow. Nodes represent processing tasks, one or more code statements. Edges represent control flow between nodes. The graphical illustration of sequence is presented. So, you can infer that this node represents a processing task, this edge represents flow from one node to another node, while condition, the processing is repeated until the condition is being met. Once the termination condition is reached, there is a transition to this particular node. You have a if statement. We are aware that when you have an if statement, the condition can be true or false. Let me say if the condition is false, control is transferred to this particular node. If the condition is true, control is transferred to this particular node. These are the edges connecting the nodes. Similarly, repeat a set of statements until a condition is being satisfied. So, you have the condition which is being checked. Once the condition is satisfied, control is transferred to the next node. Cyclomatic complexity, set of independent paths through the graph, the base is set. It is computed by the equation V of g equal to E minus n plus 2. E is the number of flow graph edges, n is the number of nodes. Cyclomatic complexity is equal to p plus 1. P is the number of predicate nodes. A predicate node is a node with two or more edges originating from it. The first equation or first model which I have stated through which you can compute cyclomatic complexity is V of g equal to E minus n plus 2, where E is the number of flow graph edges, n is the number of nodes. The second model through which you can compute cyclomatic complexity is V of g equal to p plus 1, where p is the number of predicate nodes. What is a predicate node? A predicate node is a node with two or more edges originating from it. Now, let us look into an example of how cyclomatic complexity can be computed. So, I have considered a program segment for sorting n numbers in ascending order. For the purpose of illustration, I have considered the number of numbers is 4, which is given, that is a of 0 equal to 5, a of 1 equal to 3, a of 2 equal to 1 and a of 3 equal to 4. Here in this program segment we have two while loops and one condition. I have initialized the value of I and j to be 0. The outer while loop ranges from 0 to n minus 1, which means it ranges from 0 to 2. To state it in other words, the value set of the I loop is I will take the value 0, 1 and 2. I have the j loop which ranges from I plus 1 to j less than n, which is nothing but the initial value of j will be 1 and the final value of j will be 3. Initially the value set of j is 1, 2 and 3. Now let us see how this program segment works. When the value of I is 0 initially, the j loop will be incremented by 1. So, the value of j equal to 1, the initial value of I equal to 0. When I equal to 0, j ranges from 1 to 3. Now, we are entering into the if statement if a of I greater than a of j, which means if the value a of 0 is greater than a of 1. You can infer that when I equal to 0, j equal to 1, a comparison is being made in this manner. A of I, which means a of 0 greater than a of 1. The value of a of 0 is 5. The value of a of 1 is 3. So, this condition becomes true. So, the value of a of 0, which is 5, is assigned to a temporary variable t, and the value of a of j, that is a of 1, is assigned to a of 0. That is what is the second statement there, a of I equal to a of j. So, the value of a of 0 now is 3 and the value of a of 1 is 5. Next, for I equal to 0, j equal to 2, again the checking is done. If a of 0 greater than a of 2, the value of a of 0 is 3, a of 2 is 1, 3 is greater than 1. So, again a swap is made. So, the value of a of 0 becomes 1 and a of 2 becomes 3. Next, I equal to 0, j equal to 3. A checking is made whether the value of a of 0 is greater than a of 3. No. So, we do not perform a swap, and you can see that once the j loop has terminated, the value of I gets incremented from 0 to 1. So, when the value of I equal to 1, j will be 2 and 3. Check is made whether the value of a of 1 is greater than the value of a of 2. No. Next, the value of j will be 3. Check will be made whether a of 1 is greater than a of 3. No. So, we do not swap. Similarly, for each element stored in the array, checking will be done, and if necessary the values will be swapped, and finally the program terminates. Now, our goal is to construct a control flow graph for this particular program segment and then compute cyclomatic complexity. Now, please analyze. You have a if statement while a while. Let us consider for our understanding and simplicity the innermost operation. You have the if, you have a while, and again a while. So, if a of I greater than a of j, as I have mentioned earlier, you will have a node for this if condition which checks if a of I greater than a of j. As stated, when you have a if condition, the condition can either be true or either be false. For the true part, you will have another node. For the false part, you will have another node. So, you can look here. Node 3 denotes the if statement. The leftmost arc denotes the condition yes. The right denotes the condition no. You can see that if the condition is true, you swap. If it is not true, you increment the value of j by 1. If it is true, you perform a swap, then increment j by 1. If it is not true, you directly increment j by 1. I have the condition if a of I greater than a of j. If the condition is yes, I assign a of I to a temporary variable t, then assign a of j to a of I, then assign the value stored in temporary variable t to a of j, then the j loop is incremented. If it is false, the j loop is incremented. Now, you are repeating this checking condition till the value j is less than n. For example, in our initial case, the value of I is 0, the value of j will be 1, 2 and 3. So, for the value j equal to 0, sorry, for the value I equal to 0, j will take the value 1, 2 and 3. So, this condition is being checked. Once you reach the termination condition of the while loop, the control is transferred to this particular node where you are incrementing the value of I, where you are incrementing the value of I. So, the value of I is incremented, transition is to node 1. So, you check whether the value of I is less than n minus 1. When this condition is being satisfied, when the value of I is less than n minus 1, again you increment j by 1, then you enter into the body of the while loop. This is continued until the condition I less than n minus 1 is satisfied. Once the termination condition is reached, you have a transition from node 1 to 7. So, to state it briefly, node 1 denotes your while loop with the condition I less than n minus 1. While I less than n minus 1, first I increment j by j as I equal to j equal to I plus 1. Next, node 2 denotes the while loop while j less than n. Node 3 denotes the if statement, if a of I greater than a of j. As stated already, when you have a if, there are two outcomes, true or false. If it is true, the control is transferred to 4, that is t equal to a of I equal to a of j equal to t, then j equal to j plus 1, j equal to j plus 1. If the condition is false, if a of I greater than a of j is false, then you increment j by 1, false, j equal to j plus 1. Then you check while j less than n. Once the condition j less than n becomes false, you come to 6, which is I equal to I plus 1. You have a transition to node 1 while I less than n minus 1. If the condition is satisfied, you again enter into the while loop and if loop. Once the condition I less than n minus 1 becomes false, or when the value of I, we have mentioned in our case, ranges from 0, 1 and 2, because the value of n is equal to 4. So, when the value of I becomes 3, you terminate. Now, we have to compute the cyclomatic complexity. So, as I have mentioned, let me go back. Cyclomatic complexity, set of independent paths through the graph basis set. V of g is equal to E minus n plus 2. E is the number of flow graph edges, n is the number of nodes. Another method to compute cyclomatic complexity is V of g equal to P plus 1. P is the number of predicate nodes. Now, what is a predicate node? A predicate node is a node with 2 or more edges originating from it. Now, the number of edges 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The number of edges is 9. Number of nodes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. How do you compute cyclomatic complexity? Number of edges 9 minus number of nodes plus 2, which is nothing but 9 minus 7 plus 2, which is equal to 4. The second method through which you can compute cyclomatic complexity is V of g equal to P plus 1, where P is the number of predicate nodes. What is a predicate node? I said a predicate node is a node with 2 or more edges originating from it. In this example, you can infer that 1 is a predicate node because you have 2 edges originating from it. Again, 2 is a predicate node because you have again 2 edges originating from it. 3 is a predicate node because you have 2 edges originating from it. So, V of g equal to 3 plus 1, which is 4. Now, consider this example. In case I treat node 1 for the while loop and the next statement j equal to j plus 1 is assigned another node, then the next while is assigned another node. Will your cyclomatic complexity change? There will be no change in your cyclomatic complexity. The number of nodes will increase by 1, the number of edges also will increase by 1. So, the value of your cyclomatic complexity will be 10 minus 8 plus 2, which is again 4. Now, what is the basis set here, or how do you arrive at your basis set? 1, 7, which is specified as the first set. Next 1, 2, 6, 1, 7. Next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 6, 1, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 6, 1, 7. 1, 2, 3, 5, 2, 6, 1, 7. 1, 2, 3, 5, 2, 6, 1, 7. I believe you would have understood how to compute cyclomatic complexity. Meaning V of G is the number of enclosed regions or areas of the planar graph. Number of regions increase with the number of decision paths and loops. A quantitative measure of testing difficulty and an indication of ultimate reliability. Learning outcome I have specified. This graph can also be used for deriving test cases. So, you have all probable paths. So, with this, for each condition you can write test cases and test the program. Experimental data shows value of V of G should be no more than 10. If it is more than 10, testing is very difficult above this value. Summary: McCabe's cyclomatic complexity helps in designing test cases for performing testing. Now, through this example, we have discussed how to model a control flow graph with while statements and if statements. As I have mentioned in my initial slide, you can construct a control flow graph on decision making constructs of programs such as if else, do while, repeat until, switch case and go to statements. I acknowledge the authors of the books which I have referred and the web resources I have used for this presentation. Thank you.